a nation. History bears testament to those who have led a nation. From the early kings that united warring tribes to create some semblance of a nation, to those that have caught the spirit and essence of their people and turned it into the ingredients to forge empires. We have seen those who have risen to lead. Kings, queens, emperors, revolutionaries, generals, presidents and prime ministers. Each has sought to harness the power of a nation and with it govern it. Some seek stability, others glory and conquest, and others wish to make the nation great again. From Julius Caesar to Margaret Thatcher, from Cleopatra to JFK, from Queen Elizabeth to Winston Churchill, and from Wu Zetian to Barack Obama, we have witnessed leaders rise and fall. The great and the greedy, the peaceful and the pugilists, the builders and the bringers of destruction. The world has witnessed many leaders, but what if your favorite YouTubers found themselves installed as a leader of a nation, be it an existing one or a virgin nation state? How would they lead? What would change? What would remain? What would their key policies be? What would be the national anthem? Who would form their cabinet? How would they rule? Well, you are about to find out in HG Tudor's exciting new series, If I Ruled My World, where YouTubers hold the reins of power and you decide if you want them as your leader. Hello, I'm HG Tudor, and welcome to If I Ruled My World, where the reins of power are handed to different YouTubers so that you can gain some insight into how they would govern a country. Whether an existing one that they wish to take over and lead, or one that's a complete creation from their febrile imagination, it matters not. All it is that it is a nation that is somewhere on planet Earth. I'm joined today by Michelle from Royal Daily Tea. Hello, Michelle.
Hello, HD. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for your kind inquiry. Thank you for joining me today. Let's get straight down to business. You're installed as the leader of this new country. You might have taken it over as part of a coup d'etat. You may have been democratically voted into position, or you could have got there by some other means. But what's the name of your country?
Our country is called Blank Land.
Blank Land.
Yes.
Okay. Now that doesn't sound too inspiring, if you ask me.
That's
To
it.
blank land. What's the thought process behind that?
Well, we believe that life is a blank canvas, which
Mhm.
you can draw upon anything you want to be, and you create the life of your dreams. And so you essentially can come to Blank Land with a clean slate and you can start over. So that is why we call ourselves Blank Land, because we believe life is an empty canvas.
Well, that makes perfect sense. You mentioned there that anybody could come to blank land and they get a clean slate.
Well, we do have a vetting process. We are a very popular place, as you can imagine. So we
Mhm.
do have like a very long waiting list, and we do vet people because
Okay.
we want people who are going to do something. We don't want grifters. We want people who actually are going to take the opportunity and really recreate their life. It's for serious people only.
Okay. Well, we might touch on those admission criteria at a later juncture, perhaps as one of your policies, but it isn't simply bowl up and say, take away my sins and my misdemeanors and criminal activity.
Exactly. This is for people who maybe they're 40 years old and their life isn't what they want it to be. Maybe they were afraid to pursue their dreams, or they made mistakes and they want to start over. So
Hmm.
they can come to Blank Land. We give them a clean slate, but it's not a free ride. We do expect you to go and get out of your comfort zone, learn things, do things, because eventually you have to be a part of society and you will have to pay your way. So it's not for lazy grifters. It's for people who really want a clean slate, want to start over and do things they never were able to do before. So it's kind of a really popular place, but we're very specific in who we
Okay.
let. Yeah.
You're wanting people to achieve their dreams, and it sounds like they're embarking on a second childhood. Are you Disneyland in disguise?
No, I wouldn't say we're Disneyland. I would say we're a place of dreamers, but
Hmm.
we're doers. We're
Okay.
creative people. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's certainly helped us understand more of the ethos behind Blank Land. What's its capital?
Blakeville.
Blankville.
Right.
Okay. Well, that fits. And what would your seat of power be, Michelle?
Okay, I was a little confused by the question. So I didn't know if it was a place or my position. So if we're talking about a place,
Hmm.
it would be the Palace of Versailles. We would have a replica of the
Yep.
Palace of Versailles because why not? It's beautiful.
Yes.
And it would be the head of the council, the president of the board.
Yep. Well, you've covered both bases neatly there. It is indeed inviting you to explain what the physical seat of power would be,
Okay.
whether it would be a Peppa Pig bean bag or some elaborate throne in a palace or whatever. But you've gone for the beautiful Palace of Versailles
Yes.
and also the position of president. So we'll
Yes.
address you as President
Thank you.
Michelle at
Madam
appropriate
President.
occasions. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we have Blankville, the capital of Blank Land. The Palace of Versailles is in Blankville. And what's your national anthem? What are the people, the good, fair citizens of Blank Land, going to belt their hearts out to?
Dream the impossible dream. What else would it be,
Uh,
right?
Dream,
Yes. The
possible dream.
impossible.
Hmm?
Yes.
Who sang that? Remind me.
I don't know.
Okay, I
I did,
recognise the song.
but I forgot. I'm sorry. Dream the impossible dream. We'll have to Google it. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you going to give me a few bars of the song now?
Oh, maybe later.
Maybe later. Okay. So I remember that song, I think it was a Honda advert that was quite. It showed a man very content with himself, achieving various things. It's a number of years ago now, but the song accompanied it. It was quite apt, and
Yeah.
certainly fits with the ethos that you were describing.
Yeah.
Okay, so "Dream the Impossible Dream" is the song. When will it
Hmm.
be played? State occasions every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Whenever the Blankland football team score a goal. How often are we going to hear this national anthem?
Yeah. A variety of places.
Hmm?
Events, holidays. National days. Yeah. We don't overly play it, but we think it's a very important theme that people need to hear.
And when it's played, must everybody stop what they're doing and essentially stand to attention and sing along, or at least just stand, and if they're not too confident about singing, or can they carry on and do whatever they're doing? Do they have to show it deference and respect?
We encourage people to sing, and people just belt out singing. People love to sing the song because it's very meaningful to them. Everyone loves to be here. It's hard to get here. When you're here, you
Hmm.
are embracing everything about Blank Land because it's a great place to be. So people are happy and they don't mind singing it, but we don't force people to sing it. Unless we're at a state event, then we do ask them to stand and to sing. Because
Okay.
to be a part of Blank Land, you need to be a participant.
Yeah.
No people sitting back doing nothing. Then don't be here. That's our motto. Don't be here if you don't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. What about will mothers be singing it in a soothing way to their newly born children? Will it be taught in schools?
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Absolutely.
Now, all that singing has worked up an appetite, I should
Yeah.
imagine. So, what's the national dish rather of Blankland?
We do 100 unique flavors of ice cream every year. We have different unique ice creams because, again, life's a choice, right? Why have one dish? So we love ice cream, and so we have 100 unique flavors of ice cream.
And that's every year, is it?
Yeah, we have like a festival and people come out and they have like a whole ice cream bar with all the toppings, and you get to, try out the different ice creams, and we have contests, and we really pride ourselves on being unique and having delicious ice cream.
I see. So it isn't the case, for instance, that on January the 1st it's strawberry and then on January the 4th it's mint choc chip. It's one particular day when all of these flavors can be accessed?
Yes.
Okay. So the national dish is 100 flavors of ice cream, and that takes place on a
April,
particular day each year.
April 15th.
April 15th.
Yes.
Okay.
Spring.
Why not in the summer when you perhaps would prefer an ice cream?
Well, because spring is renewal, right? Spring
Okay.
is a time of rebirth. It's a time when the flowers come out. So of course we're blank land, we're renewal. So it would be in the spring, right?
Mhm.
Of course, ice cream would be good in the summer. We encourage people to eat ice cream all year round. Don't mistake that.
Yeah.
But we do pride ourselves on having great ice cream bars that people come on April 15th, and we have a party and contest and different flavors of ice cream, and they get winners, and it's a fun day for everybody. But we love our ice cream.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you to name the 100 ice creams.
We'll do it after. We'll do it after.
I tell you what, give me 10. Give me 10.
Oh, no.
Yes.
No, I fell into that one.
Go on, 10 ice creams. That's easy.
Oh, no. Okay. Mint chocolate chip,
Mhm.
blueberry, lavender mint, strawberry, watermelon. Oh gosh, I can't even think. Lemon custard, chocolate mousse, chocolate covered strawberries, vanilla bean. I mean, just a whole bunch of different flavors.
You've only got 9 there. I'll give you the 10th
Oh,
one.
okay.
I'll give you the 10th one, rum and raisin.
Raspberry.
Watermelon ice cream. That sounds pointless.
Pointless. Oh, it's wonderful. And lavender mint is amazing. You have to try it.
I don't think I've ever had watermelon ice cream. I don't think I'd ever choose it. I don't really eat a lot of ice cream
Butter
to
pecan.
begin with. It's not
Well,
particularly
after this, you're going to go out and get yourself some ice cream, and you'll have to let me know.
Yeah, I think if I were to choose,
Okay.
if I were to choose an ice cream that I would go for, I often do rather like strawberry. Not particularly unusual that, but yeah, there's a place not far from where I have one of my houses, and they do very good ice cream. So every so often I might pop along there, and they do have an excellent range within there. They have a blue bubblegum one, which is rather good. Well. I quite like that.
Cheesecake. Yeah. You should try strawberry cheesecake.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. So next time you have ice cream, you'll think of Blankland. Go get yourself some strawberry cheesecake.
Well, the good thing is with getting a blue bubblegum one as well is that you can give it to a small child, and it's probably so full of additives that they'll basically be hyperactive for the rest of the afternoon, annoying their parents, which of course would amuse me. But well, that's an interesting national dish anyway.
Yeah.
100 unique flavors of ice cream, plenty of options there.
Right.
Let's turn now to Blankland's national animal, Michelle. What's that?
Well, it would have to be the cat.
The cat? The domestic cat?
Yeah, any kind of cat, big cats, small cats. And you know why? I hope, because they have 9 lives.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so we believe a person can live multiple lives and have many chances to live the life of their dreams. So obviously we would have to have a cat.
That one I threw in the canal in a sack with bricks in.
No. Cardinal sin. Exit left.
Okay,
naughty boy. No.
Okay, so when you say small cats, big cats, are you talking about all members of the cat family?
Yeah, we
Okay.
mostly domestic cats, but if you have a lion or two, that's okay. But we believe more in the domestic cat because they have the 9 lives.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you have a cat yourself?
of course. His name is Romeo.
Romeo. That's
Romeo, Romeo.
Bravo. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lover.
And
He's a fiddler.
what breed is Romeo?
He is a black and white Siberian forest cat. He's
Sounds
got
quite
like a very
exotic.
interesting, yeah, he has a very interesting look. They have a very big head, and he's
Mm.
black and white, and he's adorable. And he has a little white stripe. I'll have to send you a photo. A little white stripe down his nose. But yeah, he's my baby, 17. Yeah, he's a
Does he
good
go
boy.
outside?
No, no, he doesn't. He's a spoiled indoor cat.
Why can't he go outside?
Well, he has a really great life inside. He has AC. We live in Texas. It's hot. He wants to go outside though. He wants to chase the squirrels, but he's too old
Yeah.
now.
Doesn't he know? Doesn't he need to go and slaughter some mice and bring them
He
back as
used
a
to. He
tribute
used
to you?
he used to go out and do that, but he's an indoor kitty cat now.
Oh, okay. One of my neighbors, they have 2 cats. One doesn't go outside, and the other one's only allowed out on a lead.
Oh yeah. Believe me, if I could walk him on a leash, we have a dog park outside my apartment. It's beautiful green. People walk their dogs and he just likes to look outside the window.
Yeah,
But there's a lot of dogs, mostly dog people here, so it's not safe for him.
I understand. Now, so the choice of the cat as the national animal of Blankland is because it has 9 lives.
Yes.
Okay, that's the rationale behind that. And we have your flag, which can be seen on screen. Talk me through the flag of Blankland.
Yes. So it is beige, but it's not boring. It's bold, it's bold. It has a big B on it. And then, of course, we have a little bit of sparkle and what we call dream dust, right? Because
Dream dust. That sounds like a drug.
Ah! But isn't living your dream a drug? Isn't that a powerful feeling?
Good comeback. Yeah,
Yeah.
good recovery there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got them all day. So anyway, so yeah, it's a little sparkle. We're not boring, even though we're beige. But that's kind of the point, right? We don't want to be too colorful because our people are colorful. Our flag is just kind of, but it has some sparkle and
Yeah, I can see that from it that it has that sparkle and it glistens. So
yeah.
you wouldn't describe it as beige, although it doesn't have the sort of reds and yellows and blues that you might ordinarily see on the flag. It does sparkle, and as you say, it has the B there,
Right.
blank. So that all fits together. And we've sort of touched on this already to an extent with the ethos of Blankland. But what's the national motto of your country?
The national motto, okay. Okay. So the motto of blank. Okay, so I'm trying to read my thing. We believe that life is a blank canvas which you can draw upon and create the life that you love, and kind of the whole clean slate theory. So that's just kind of our motto is create the life that you want.
So the motto is, I was going to say what you just said there was not particularly snappy, but now you've distilled it down to create the life that you want.
Yes, life is a blank canvas for which you can draw upon and create the life you love.
Okay. Well, that all sits with what you've been saying so far. So full marks for consistency with regard to the creation of your nation.
I try.
Well, that's your job as the leader. And what's your national day going to be called, President Michelle? What's your national day?
National Day of Flavors.
National Day of Flavors. And is that April the 15th?
Yes, it is. And that's when we have our 100 unique flavors of ice cream. After this, you're going to go out and have ice cream. I know it.
So on the 15th of April, the citizens of Blankland,
Yes.
the Blankenites, all get together and they sing Dream the Impossible Dream. Then they chow down on some various ice creams whilst looking at the blank flag. And presumably then they go into some kind of sugar-induced coma towards the end of the day.
Well, it's a very elaborate day. We have major ice cream bars with all the toppings, music. We have artists, magicians, singers. It's a whole show. Everyone comes out. Before we have a contest for the best ice cream. But yeah, it's like a whole thing. The whole town gets involved.
Tell me, how do you judge the best ice cream? What are the criteria?
Oh gosh. Well, we have judges and people can, people vote. People vote. We let the people.
Yeah, but what are they voting on? What makes the best ice cream?
What tastes the best?
Okay.
Maybe the uniqueness of, combination of flavors. But sometimes chocolate can win, a chocolate mousse. It just really depends if it's great. So, there's no criteria, just whatever people decide that they like and who has the most votes. Because
what if someone could create an ice cream that wouldn't melt?
That would be unique. So maybe they would win. Yeah. Be a good thing.
Okay. Well, all of that ice cream, of course, is going to cost a lot of money. And
Yes.
so there would need to be a currency associated with blank land. If you had a currency, what would it be called?
Blanks.
Yeah, I think that I anticipated that was where you go. That makes sense. So hand over all the blanks. This is a stick up. Okay, fair enough. And on your lowest denomination note, let's say it's 5 blanks, what would you have on that note?
The letter B.
Letter B. Okay, and let's say your highest denomination note is 500 blanks. What would appear on that?
A B and a star.
A B and a star. Not an ice cream.
Maybe on the backside.
Okay. So we've got our currency, the blank. We've got our denominations. We're going to turn now, Michelle. And so far, I have to say, you've painted a sort of, I'm thinking of candy floss for some reason in relation to your country. It's a
bit candy.
Yeah, well, it's not offensive to anybody, and it's quite a sweet place. That's the impression I gain of it.
Yeah.
So it's light, it's fluffy. So it's not a criticism. It's simply what formed in my mind when you've been describing what's been going so far. But we're going to go and start digging beneath the surface now and see that, to sort of test out some of your policies. So we're going to go through certain of the policies to find out what your stance is as president. And we're going to start with your foreign policy. So I'm going to read out the options for you. And you will then pick which one is closest to the policy that you see as is appropriate for blank. Now, you might be tempted to issue caveats. Unfortunately, that's where I am going to come down and say, no, you can't. You've got to put it with one of the choices that's there. Might make you feel a little uncomfortable, but might not. You might find that fits entirely with what suits me. So here are your choices for foreign policy.
All right.
Would it be defense only? So you just spend your time defending blank land. Or alternatively, would you aid allied nations whilst defending your own country? Or would you take on a world policing role, being seen as one of the, if not the dominant power on the planet to ensure that people behave themselves? Or would you adopt an expansionist role? For instance, there's some land that used to belong to blank land 200 years ago, and you think it's about time you took it back, so you're going to do that. Or would you not only do that in relation to former territories that you want to get back, but you're thinking, well, actually, all this ice cream that we're going to eat needs a lot of sugar, and they've got lots of sugar cane and sugar beet over the border, so we're going to go invade them so we can purloin that sugar for ourselves? Or is your stance going to be particularly aggressive, whereby it's, you've just looked at me funny, I'm going to invade you? Which of those would you choose?
I would say we would aid allied nations and defend our own country.
Okay, thank you. Nuclear missiles. Would there be no nuclear missiles in blank land? Would it be deterrent only, meaning you have them, but you'll never use them? but you won't make that known? Or will you only ever use them if you're fired on first with nuclear weapons? Or it's time to nuke, any excuse to launch the nuclear missiles?
We don't have nuclear missiles.
Okay. They're outlawed.
They're not outlawed. We just don't need them.
Right, okay.
We do have a huge defense shield that we can just lay up over our country if we need to.
I don't seem to recall that appearing as an option, but go on.
We're a creative bunch over here, HG.
Okay.
We're
Is
creative.
it a massive upturned ice cream cone?
That's right. It's shaped like a cone, and we it's like a vision in the sky, and you see like a big ice cream cone, and we're like, oh, that's our defense shield. So yeah, we have a defense shield, no nuclear missiles, but we have a lot of neighboring allies who do, and they protect us. We're a little but very popular country, but we don't need people. We don't, you know what I mean? But we don't have missiles ourselves.
Right. Let's turn to the question of press freedom.
Okay.
Is it the case there is no state interference whatsoever? Or will you interfere on the grounds of national security? Or will you interfere on the grounds of whatever you deem is sensitive? So pretty much carte blanche. If you don't like it, you can interfere and prevent something being written or broadcast about you. Or would you just ensure that the media is state-owned?
No state interference.
No state interference. So somebody will be free to say that President Michelle is wasting money on ice cream, and that's an outrage when we've got veterans who've got nowhere to live.
They would be free to say that, but they wouldn't say that, because blank land is a very unique land, and people fight to be here.
Sure, but
yeah,
every country has its ills. So
they're allowed to state their opinion.
Yeah. So, let's move it more within the confines of your world then. Okay. So somebody says only 100 choices of ice cream on National Day of Flavors. That's ridiculous. We should have 300. Our president isn't doing a good job. They're allowed to write that?
Sure.
Okay. They're allowed to protest in the streets. We want more flavors.
Sure.
Okay. Religious tolerance. Is there complete freedom of worship and expression? Or is there freedom of worship so long as you're not provoking somebody else? Or is it the existing religion of blank land, but you secretly tolerate others? Or is it the existing religion of blank land and there's no tolerance of any others, and indeed unapproved religions, it's time to persecute them? Or is your stance, you worship me, President Michelle, and only me, remember?
It would be the one where you're allowed to have your own religion as long as you don't infringe upon other people.
Okay. So all playing nicely so far. Let's address the question of equality.
Okay.
Is it the case that minorities are actively supported, they are protected, and they actually are given positive discrimination to try and balance numbers up in certain areas of life? Or is it the case that minorities are protected by anti-discrimination legislation only? Or is the attitude, we will promote ability, not fill quotas? Or minority issues, ignore them. It's too much like hard work. Or, hey, let's persecute minorities. After all, they're a nuisance, and it's quite good fun too.
We promote ability, not quotas. Because again, we're very much about doing something. So everyone is equal.
Yes.
We don't do special treatment. We expect everyone to be judged on their ability.
Okay. Thank you for confirming what those policies are. We're going to hear more about some of the policies in due course. But before we get to that, running a country is a pretty involved role, and invariably there's a cabinet. Here it's a short form cabinet. Okay. There are there are 5 positions which I've been identified as key ones that you need to fill with somebody who's either real or fictional. Choice is yours. Who would you have as your defense chief?
Chewbacca.
Chewbacca.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me why the hairy Wookiee is in charge of defense.
Well, he's an 8-foot tall Wookiee, so I don't think a lot of people would go up against him, but he's very fearless and people love him. So we have him as our defense minister.
Okay. But he's only one person.
Well, he's the head of an army of Wookiees.
Oh, I see. So there's an army of Wookiees now.
Yes.
Okay. Can you make a Wookiee noise? That's quite good, actually. That's not bad. Are you a Star Wars fan?
I am. I grew up in the 70s, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I like Star Wars too. I always wanted the Empire to win, though. So,
but Darth Vader was a likable character. I mean,
well, the way I looked at it is that the Empire stood for order, that it stood for certainty, and they had the better uniforms. And then you've got these ragtag rebels, scruffy-looking nerf herders, etc. And what were they doing? They were the ones that were rebelling. They were the ones that were out of line. So yeah.
So you're not a fan of Chewbacca?
Well, no. I mean, whenever I looked at him, I started itching. He always looked like he needed a good wash. I wondered if he got fleas.
Okay, our Wookiees wear uniforms that are very similar to the Empire's uniforms, so they're very sharp looking.
Okay, they're sharp looking. Right. So Jean-Paul Gaultier has been roped in to design them for the Wookiees.
That's right.
Okay, so Chewbacca is the defense chief. And who's going to be your foreign secretary?
Our foreign minister would be Meghan Markle.
No, that's an interesting choice. Explain the rationale behind that.
Yeah, so it's a little bit sneaky, but it works. The reason why we have Meghan Markle as our foreign minister is because she's cheap and easy. You give her a microphone with extra batteries, a film crew, makeup and hair. That woman will go anywhere, do anything. She gives her word salad speeches, and people are so bored and they're like scratching their eyes out. They just want it to stop. They write us checks. They're like, please make it stop, never send her. And they give us checks. Whatever we want, we get, because we just threatened to send her again. So it really works. The problem is we're running out of countries. So we're thinking maybe outer space, deep ocean exploration, maybe a jungle. But literally, it works beautifully for us. We just send Meghan Markle with a microphone and people scratch their eyes out. And we get checks. So it works great.
I can understand now why you don't need any nuclear weapons, because if you're going to threaten people with, we're going to send this one's wife to you.
That's right.
And you're going to subject it to a tsunami of a beige word salad that they will, as you say, will be wanting to plug their ears and claw their eyes out and fall to the ground and say, we surrender.
How do you think we built the Palace of Versailles? It was paid for by other people.
Well, there we are. There's some chicanery afoot.
We are smart.
Now, let me play devil's advocate for a moment. We know that this one's wife isn't exactly the most hardworking of individuals.
Yes.
And if you're saying that she's going to be, even though it's tempting to say there's a microphone and extra batteries, etc., but if she's going to be parachuted into places where it's not exactly going to be the most exciting of welcomes for her, and there aren't any shoe shops or places where she can buy beige interior design equipment, how will you make her go?
Well, it's not hard. You just tell her she can have a microphone and give a speech. That's the beauty.
What if she wants to stay in Blankland to make the speech? What if she says that there's a homeless shelter she wants to go and hand out nutrition bars at?
Let's see. Well, we've never really had that problem yet so far, so we're just kind of crossing our fingers. We come up with new places for her to go.
What if she downs tools and says, I just want to sit here rage scrolling?
Well, I don't know. We'd have to have a council meeting about that, because we really don't want her in Blankland. We like to go abroad and bring checks. Yeah. And kind of the deal is she has to bring the money.
So
Show us.
essentially, she's going to be a foreign secretary in exile.
That's right. She's permanently on the road.
So you don't have to put up with her. Everybody else has to do it. Actually, it's quite cunning. Quite
That's
a cunning
right.
plan, that. Yeah.
That's right.
Very
It
good.
is the genius. It's the genius move of Blankland that no one knows about.
Even if you do say so yourself.
I absolutely say that about myself. I mean, we didn't say that we're humble. Yeah, that was. I'm
Oh,
kind of.
I'm all for self-promotion. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, let's turn to your chief scientific officer now, Michelle. Who's that?
We have two, and that would be C3PO and R2D2, obviously.
Ah, okay.
You know, go with the Star Wars theme. They're robots. They don't need food. I mean, they're smart. They're illogical, right? So yeah.
What if they start bickering amongst themselves?
Well, they always bicker.
Yeah.
That's just a given.
So what if you need a decision out of them, and R2's making rude noises, and C3PO's expressing indignance in a cut glass English accent?
We can always calm them down, and then we have a discussion. But they usually work out.
I'd be inclined just to switch them off.
Well, we do that too sometimes.
Okay.
We threaten Meghan Markle, and then immediately we threaten to get Meghan on the phone. It works wonders.
I think they'd rather be. I think they'd rather face disintegration than be taken down to Jabba the Hutt's dungeon and have hot plates applied to their feet rather than listen to her. Okay. Now we turn on to matters of money, Michelle. Who's your Treasury Secretary?
Elon Musk.
Why Elon Musk?
Because he wanted the job and he's rich, and we figured, well, he probably knows how to count our blanks.
Yeah.
And he can deal with Meghan. Yeah. So Elon Musk.
Okay. So you think he's got sound economic principles?
Yes.
Okay.
And he likes Dogecoin, which we like, even though we lost money. But yeah.
Okay. And the final member of the cabinet is the Minister for Fun. Who's that?
Jim Carrey.
Okay. Expand on that, please.
Because he's a fun guy, and he can do a lot of different personalities. He's very unique. And of course, we have people who are different and unique. So Jim Carrey.
All right. All righty then. So he's in there. But you've got three narcissists in your cabinet.
I do.
Hmm.
Okay.
Now one is going to be on permanent exile, so that's her kind of out of the way.
Right.
But will Jim and Elon bicker alongside the droids? Could it be the only person that's trying to maintain order is Chewbacca?
It could happen.
Yeah. I suppose you could threaten to rip their arms off.
Yeah, we're okay with open discussion. You're allowed to have an argument. You're allowed to speak your case. You know, we don't expect people to be kumbaya, but we like difference of opinions because we feel you work better when you have people with different opinions.
Understood. For a moment there, when I said he could rip your arms off, and you said, "Well, we embrace open discussion," I thought, well, that's one way of describing it. But I see that you're moving on to something else. Absolutely.
We don't embrace violence.
Don't embrace the violence. Okay. That is the cabinet, interestingly constituted, a mixture of the fictional and the real and the despicable. Let's turn to who would be blank land's main ally. Who's the major ally?
Well, I would say most countries are, because we don't really have a ton of enemies, but probably the UK and America.
The UK and the United States would be main allies. Why is that?
Because they're for freedom, democracy, which goes a lot with our way of life.
Okay, so you see them as sitting alongside your own values.
Yes.
What about if Prime Minister Starmer decided that ice cream is a bad thing, is making people fat, and he outlaws it? What's the position there of Blankland to this absolutely heinous assault on the humble ice cream?
Well, that's okay, because it's not outlawed where we are. We don't care what he does about ice cream in the UK. He could do what he wants over there.
Yeah.
That's fine. But we're okay.
What if there's a dastardly plot by Vladimir Putin, where he is seeking to spike the UK supply of ice cream. Now Starmer has agreed that actually people can have it, so that it won't set and it'll melt. Is an act of aggression against the UK that's going to be met with force?
Yeah. Well, we might have to have a board meeting and send Meghan Markle. I don't know. Yeah, that might be some fighting words. I don't know. That's a bad situation. We might have to get on the phone and have some serious discussions and threaten Meghan Markle, like I said.
Yeah, I think Vlad might eat this one's wife up for breakfast, though. I mean, he's
He-
ex-KGB. This guy, he'll just phase her out. Your secret
But he has-
weapon might come unstuck there.
but if she gets a microphone, I think he's dead in the water.
All right, okay. Well, only time will tell, Michelle. Who's going to be your main enemy?
Well, obviously people who want to melt ice cream.
Yeah.
But North Korea, Russia, dictators, people who infringe on freedoms. We don't like that. We don't like that.
Okay. That's straightforward enough. And is
Yeah.
there apart from people that are anti-ice cream, is there a particular group that isn't welcome in your country?
We don't particularly like rude people or time wasters. We believe that time is the most precious commodity, and we take it very seriously. That's why people come to Blankland, is because maybe they wasted their life, they wasted time.
Mhm.
And here we believe time is precious, and that's why we want people to reinvent themselves, to step out of their comfort zone, and to really go for their dreams. This is kind of their chance to do it. So if you're going to come here and waste time and be a lazy grifter, that's like, no. That's why we have a vetting process to come to Blankland, because we don't want time wasters or lazy people.
What about smelly people?
Well, we would hope that you would bathe.
Okay. What if they don't? Turn them back at the border. Get away, Pongo.
We will send Meghan Markle to their door with some soap and deodorant.
I suppose that would force them to clean up or be faced of age. She's going to be very busy.
She is yes.
Yeah,
She's our
absolutely.
secret weapon. She's our secret weapon.
Indeed. Okay, we now turn to the opportunity for you to really flex your power and your leadership, as we're going to examine 5 foundation policies of your government, which can be anything that you want. Serious, not so serious, it doesn't matter. Feed me your first policy, Michelle.
Okay, this kind of expands upon what I said earlier, but the number one golden rule that shall never be broken is, wasting time. That's our golden rule. Yeah.
So no wasting time.
Wasting time, no lazy grifters. Everyone has to be an active participant. You can't just sit there and play video games all day.
There's a man sat on a park bench just out in the sunshine. He's just sat there doing nothing. He looks to me like he's wasting time. Do we get the time wasting police onto him and bat on him a bit?
No, we don't mind people relaxing and enjoying the day. When we say wasting time, we mean people who sit there day after day, week after week, month after month, and just do nothing.
He sits in the park for hours every day.
Well, does he do anything else?
It doesn't look like it. He shuffles off home. I don't know what he does there, but the time wasting police have been reporting that he spends 8 hours a day just sat on a park bench staring into the ether. That doesn't seem very productive. So,
well, that could be a problem then, yeah.
That could be a problem. Okay. So people sat around playing video games. That's not productive.
Right, because we want people to come here, go to school, learn the arts, a craft, pursue a dream. Like I said, everyone who comes here has a goal and a mission, because they've already wasted so much time.
Yeah, but the nerds of Blankland are close to rebellion. How are they going to get their downtime and relaxation? After all, that old man's allowed to relax on the park bench. Why can't they relax playing Grand Theft Auto?
They can relax. There's a difference between having time off and relaxing and wasting time and being a lazy grifter. Those are two different things. A lazy grifter would be someone who stays home all day, 24 hours a day, living off the system, not doing anything, not pursuing anything, playing games and doing nothing. Having someone playing games on their off time, sitting on a bench on their off time, totally fine. Of course, if they're having ice cream, that would be fine.
So that wouldn't be viewed as wasting time. That's just viewed as relaxation.
Exactly. We encourage relaxation, but not people who just come here and then do nothing.
What if somebody's retired, so they're no longer going to work and they're just going to sit and play video games all day?
They wouldn't be in Blank Land then.
They wouldn't.
They would not, because Blank Land is here for people to create a new
Yes.
life for themselves. So if you're retired and you don't want to do anything, Blank Land probably wouldn't be for you.
But what if they they were born in blank land and they've had a productive life and they've paid their taxes and now they've retired and they're saying, well, I just want to be left in my dotage playing Donkey Kong and Pac-Man?
That would be okay because they've already done something.
Okay. So they've proven themselves. So that means they get a pass in terms of they would be then you wouldn't label it as time wasting. You would regard it as time earned.
Yes, time well spent. That's right. We don't discriminate against age or anything like that. But new people coming in would not be able to do that. If you've been here a while and then you retire, that's different.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're a lazy bum, you're not welcome.
That's right. We'll send Meghan Markle on you.
Okay. Policy number 2, please.
Code of conduct. Be a good person and respect others.
Be a good person and respect others. And if you don't, what happens?
You get kicked out.
First strike?
First you get a warning.
Okay.
A second one, you have to go in front of the council. And the third time, you are exiled out of Blank Land and you have to wait 12 months to even try to come back.
What's this council you go in front of? Who's this?
Me and all of the foreign office. Well, not Megan.
Oh, you mean your cabinet?
My cabinet.
The cabinet would spend its time dealing with people who've been disrespecting one another.
Well, when we mean disrespecting, we mean major grievances.
What's a major grievance?
Making fun of someone, being rude to someone.
Making fun of somebody's a major grievance.
Yes, or like making fun of their dreams, because
well, that makes more sense, even though the bar's rather low. But
like if someone tries to sing and they do an album and they're like, "Oh my God, you suck," and they're like putting a lot of hate to them and discouraging them, we frown upon that, right?
Well, so saying somebody sucks at something, even though it may well be correct, is viewed as hateful.
Well, if they're really extremely hateful and like really like going after.
No, if they just say that sucks, man, and it does.
That's okay, but we're talking extreme hate, like, yeah.
Like what? Really? Smashing up the statue that they've made and go, oh,
exactly.
That sucks.
Yeah, infringing upon someone's ability to express themselves and be creative and pursue their dream. Because all of us, I mean, rejection is a very healthy part of pursuing your dream. We're not saying everything has to be perfect. We want to be honest. We want to encourage people, but at the same time, if someone's not good, you should be able to say, hey, maybe you need to work on it. But be completely like negative and really like trying to destroy their confidence and that kind of thing, we would say that's not a good thing.
All right, then. What's your third policy, please, Michelle?
Code of community would be to help out the community, keep the areas of the open community clean, do your part, like the parks. We don't like litter, that type of thing. Be respectful of your surroundings.
Oh, that sounds sensible and straightforward enough. I know in Scandinavian countries that in your neighborhood, when it gets to spring, everybody's expected to come out and do a bit of spring tidy, make sure that the road's clear if it leads into a particular place and trim the hedges and a lick of paint and all the rest of it. If you don't, it's frowned upon, and sort of social disapproval causes people to make sure that they play their part. That's why you travel through Scandinavia, much of it's very pretty to look at.
Right.
So that makes sense. Help out the community. Policy number 4?
Would be rule of contribution to society. Mm-hmm. So people who go out and pursue their dreams, after a while, we do expect you to earn a living from it, and you do have to pay taxes. That goes toward, your housing and food and all that kind of stuff. So you have to contribute back to society.
Yeah. So nobody's getting a free ride.
That's right.
Okay. And your 5th policy?
Code of gratitude.
Okay.
We believe strongly in being grateful and not taking the opportunity to be in blank land for granted, because a lot of people try to come here. It's a huge vetting process, and we are giving you a chance to kind of start over, to pursue a dream. So
Yeah.
you need to be grateful for that.
Do you measure people in terms of the pursuit of their dream? If they're not getting anywhere, do you have a dream squad that pops in and G's them up a little bit?
Well, we give people a 12-month period, and then
Hmm.
we kind of look and see what's happening, because they have to be able to make a living
Yeah.
and contribute. So if they're
Well,
not making
let us assume they're contributing, so they're doing a job and they're paying
okay,
their taxes,
okay,
and they're not wasting time because they're doing a job,
yeah,
and they're a good person. They respect others, and they
mhm,
help out in the community. They perhaps run a youth football team, or they run the local drama group, and they appear to be grateful for being in the country, but they're not really pursuing any kind of dream in all of that. They're just getting on with it.
well, in my opinion, that would be their dream. They're
What if
doing
they
something.
say it's not? What if they say, I don't really have any dreams. I'm just doing that. That's just me existing, but I don't really have any dreams. Are they going to get kicked out because you need dreams?
No,
No.
you don't really need dreams. It's more about creating the life that you love, writing on your blank canvas, whatever that looks for you. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a rock star
Yeah.
or an author or an actor. You could just be a person who's happy running the drama school.
So if
That
you
could,
enjoy putting different shapes of pasta into order on a Friday night, that's okay.
yeah, if it's a profitable business
Oh no, it's
would,
just a hobby.
well, a hobby is a dream with
Mhm.
um isn't a hobby almost the same thing? Like, wouldn't everyone love to make their hobby into their full-time job? Right? That's a
Well,
dream.
so some people might do, but some people might say, I prefer it as a hobby because there's no pressure on me to make a living from it. I can pick it up and put it down when I want. I don't have to comply with certain things. That's why it's a hobby and not
Right.
it's not an income stream for me. I know some people turn hobbies into income streams, and
Right.
there's an argument in some instances that's the best of both worlds. But some would prefer to say, no, I have this particular job, I do it, and then I have my hobbies such as wearing gimp suits and sucking on tangerines at the weekend.
Well, yeah, so like we said, not everything is the same for every person. We don't
Yeah.
judge how big or small, but we encourage people to come here and pursue dreams and passions. And sometimes you might have several. You might
Mhm.
fail at all of them, but we want you to come out here and try. But at the end of the day, you do have to be able to support yourself from
Yep.
the fruit of your labor. So the people who do come here, whether it is creating pasta into animal shapes, that
Yes.
could be someone's passion, right? And if they're making money and they're running a shop and they're doing all the other rules, we would not say to them, you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because if they're happy and this is what they enjoy doing and they wouldn't be able to do this anywhere else, then why not? I mean, it's not hurting anybody. They're following the rules, um, and they're contributing to society. And again, that's their choice.
Yes.
Right. So again, we don't tell people what they should be. I'm not going
Okay.
to tell you should become a singer. You know what I mean? You just do whatever you want to do.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, Michelle, thank you very much for setting out your vision of Blank Land, a land that's capital is Blankville, where the cat with its 9 lives is the national animal. And we heard all about Romeo, the black and white Siberian forest cat who's trapped indoors at the moment. And there's a flag, which at first looks a bit beige, but on closer examination has its sparkle in a way that sums up Blankland rather well. That at first it sounds like quite a dull place, but in actual fact, it's a place where people are encouraged to pursue their dreams. Indeed, they sing Dream the Impossible Dream as they look on those 100 flavors of ice cream on April the 15th. You're encouraged to create the life that you want. You can spend your blanks and enjoy the National Day where there's music and magicians and a whole spectacle. There are no nuclear weapons. Chewbacca is keeping you all safe. whilst this one's wife is being catapulted into other nations and reducing them to tearing their ears off and scratching their eyes out, ensuring that the country of Blankland gets what it wants. Valuable viewers, you've heard the vision that Michelle has set out. Is this a country that you would think, I am now packing my suitcase and preparing my visa application to get in? I don't smell, I respect other people, and I'm great in the community. Let me in. Or are you thinking, no, that's not for me. It just doesn't sit right with me. Well, you will have the opportunity to vote by going to this channel's community section, and you can let Michelle know what you think of her vision. All that remains for me to say, President Michelle, is thank you for your contribution today and for sharing your detailed vision of Blankland.
Thank you for having me. It was fun. And I hope you go out and have some ice cream and think about Blankland next time you do.
There we are, signing off with a bit of mind control at the end. Why not?